This episode is brought to you by the law offices of Rene A. Flores. Hashtag DWI expert.
You know, I remember when I got let go from KWW for the second time in 1998, I think it was 97. And well, you stayed on board. I was hard to work with because I had my drinking and my partying, and I wasn't hard to work with. I was just, I was just a party animal, bro.
Exactly. Yeah,
and I remember that, I got out of radio and you stayed there. And then one day I heard you on the radio, with a retirement speech, and that you were going to retire from radio and this and that. And I was like, wait a second. Right away, because I've been into wrestling for so long, and I'm like, I've seen so many retirements in wrestling, and then this is a retirement match, man. And I said, no, there's got to be something to this. There was actually something behind that, right? Because you wanted to go to another radio station, but it was some sort of contractual obligation, man. What kind of deal was that, bro? What happened there, bro?
Well, yeah, we had spoken to the lawyers, and because I was under contract, but there was a very short window of about 4 or 5 days that they for some reason, I don't know why, the company that we were with, they delayed the contracts of coming in to, that little window when you have to sign the other one.
Yeah.
So at that point, that was my way out of the contract. So at that point, the lawyer said, just give them the letter of resignation. Those days you're not under contracts, you can leave. They can't do anything to you. And so I did that, but I couldn't say that I was going to go to another company. So all I said was, I was retiring.
Well, you had a non-compete, right? Was it non-compete binding? Because the non-competes back in the 90s that they made us sign was like we couldn't work for like a year at another competitive station within 50-mile radius, and that would have happened to me. I wasn't able to work for a whole year, but I was doing a lot of other things, and I was capable of surviving because we were always hustling on the side. But you had that, and since it was in the middle of that little break,
it was that little window, and that's what we timed it, I guess, perfectly. I guess, and then it wasn't. It wasn't that we timed it. It's just that they delayed the contracts coming in from corporate, from San Antonio, wherever corporate was back then. And so at that point, the lawyer said, this is the window. They can't hold you to the contract because you're not in contract anymore. Your contract ended on this date, so you're not in contract anymore. It's not binding anymore. So, and the lawyers that I was working with obviously were the ones for the company I was going to, which was Summit Productions, which eventually became Sendero Multimedia.
Yeah, and they were the Puro Tejano producers and the
exactly,
creators,
and that was my relationship to them. I wanted to go continue doing Puro Tejano because at that moment we couldn't do Puro Tejano anymore due to the fact that the Tejano Country TV show was now partnered up with corporate in San Antonio. So they weren't allowing us to do Puro Tejano anymore. So I wanted to continue doing the show, and plus work in radio. They had some radio stations coming along the way. They weren't out yet. They weren't active, but so I helped build the stuff there for La M La Mejor, which is 102.1, which is where I'm at right now.
Yeah, it was La M.
Super Tejano. Yeah.
And Rogelio, was he the one that enticed you to go there? Because Rogelio left before you did, right?
Well, no, actually it was the other way around. Rogelio was still there.
At KGBT.
And the thing is, Rogelio couldn't tell me that he was going.
Oh, okay.
But I when I told Rogelio, he said, okay, good luck to you. Maybe I'll see you soon. So he kind of gave me a little hit because he was still under contract,
Yeah.
And so he had to wait a little longer. And eventually, I think I was over there for a couple of months, and then Rogelio came on, and I was his music director, assistant program director.
That was and that was one of the most shocking departures in radio. Was when Rogelio left KGBT, man, after so many years of being there, man. He had been there since like the 60s, and this was 1998, and he ended up, taking that leap of faith and moving on over to La M, man. Why was it that he felt that he had to, leave a company that he had been with for so long?
remember earlier you were saying about the fact that everything started getting very corporate.
Mm-hmm.
So, things were just changing so much. And, the local touch was being lost. As you remember, KIWW at that point, Que Pasa 99.5 was more relatable now to our market than KIWW was.
And,
so our hands were tied now from corporate. So Rogelio felt that is an issue. And believe it or not, it was supposed to be myself that left the station. And check this out. So we had the former general manager from KGBT, which was Jose Luis Munoz.
Yeah,
he was the general manager over there. Maria Cepeda, Maria Alvarez, was also over there as the sales manager, along with Luis. Oh God, I forgot his name. It was somebody else. Some of the management.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Rogelio Boteo Rios, myself, and Hugo de la Cruz was supposed to join us as well.
Mm-hmm.
But, once Rogelio left, they enticed Hugo with more money and the opportunity to be program director to stay. So he decided to go and stay in the KGBT. But he was supposed to be part of our team over there.
Yeah, that was pretty amazing. I was shocked when Rogelio had left, and then he went over there to La M with you guys, and